we got a new chapter of Peak. And yeah, so I'm going to be reviewing upon chapter 9. I'm not going to be reviewing from chapters 1 to 9 because you guys already read it. So I'm going to pick this up from chapter 9 and just start talking from chapter 9 onward. So beware of some potential spoilers if you haven't read. So go read up until the newest chapter, chapter 9, and then come back. So yeah, we're going to talk about chapter 9 onward. So let's get on with it. So, spoilers. So we got a new chapter for Mad, and I like the contrast and showing us more a little bit about these people that can transform into these things, right? These these alien hybrid things. And I think this chapter is very good because I think after this chapter, we're finally going to get either, John turning into an alien finally, or we're going to get, something happening to these guys. And the reason that I say that is because we know Leon is kind of a nut job. He's kind of got a screw loose. And then we have, these guys, which kind of also seem to have a screw loose, because they just all seem mentally like not stable. So I want to imagine that, transforming into an alien hybrid does kind of fuck with your head, because the last time we saw John, he was kind of going insane. Like, not as much, but he was kind of fucked up in the head. And we know Leon is absolutely fucked up. We know that, these guys are kind of weird. There's this guy that cries if you talk to him too loudly. And then this guy just folds his clothes and takes it off. Like, what the fuck? And, there's the other guy. Like, the other two guys, the one that looks like Ace, as they said in one of the comments, and the other guy, they look a little bit more normal. The ones that were talking and we're getting the report about an alien with horns, they look a little bit more normal. But the other two are kind of they give me Leon vibes, and I do not feel safe with Leon. I will tell you that Leon just doesn't really creeps me out. So these three guys kind of creep me out. I don't know if the other two guys are kind of nut jobs, but this guy kind of didn't take off his clothes and just transformed, but he doesn't seem too crazy. And the other guy that was informing him what that they saw an alien with horns, they don't seem too crazy, but I this manga is, I don't want to trust anyone at all. So yeah, and the last chapter we left off with John being turned into an alien. I'm pretty sure he's gonna survive and he's gonna get his arm back and he's gonna be an alien and everything. So I'm really interested in seeing where the story goes, because this story is so good. I love the way that this manga is able to just keep up the pace, being bi-weekly, and just really give you a sense of, I don't trust anyone at all, and I don't want to trust anyone at all. Because in the first chapters when they're giving meat, I continued asking myself, is that human meat? Or is that actual meat? But then it turns out, and they never addressed the meat ever again. And I was like, okay. And then in the latest chapters, they reveal, the author reveals that it wasn't human meat. It was alien meat. So it was oh my God. So the author answered the question chapters later with something worse. So it's really interesting, man. This thing is really interesting. I like where it's going. I like the kind of just point of view from these guys, but they don't see themselves as villains. They're just kind of doing what they have to do to save humanity, which is, if they gotta sacrifice people for them to turn into aliens, they will do that, because that's their only fighting chance. Because they're able to fight these aliens without a problem. So yeah, I do like the kind of the contradiction of this magic system. Not contradiction, but the cons of this magic system, of this power system, is you get the power of an alien hybrid, and you're pretty badass, but you probably because of the due process, because they go through a harsh process. Like their skin falls off, their hair falls off, they vomit, they cough up blood, they lose fingertips. We see some of these test subjects which have like blobs all over them, like they're disgusting and ugly. It's a really horrible process. But at the end of it all, you get these alien powers. But I like the kind of like the con of, by the time you get the alien, you've probably already gone insane, which is kind of like what we've seen consistently with these guys, because they're kind of fucking crazy. You know, like at least the like Leon and the dude with like the that cries and the other dude that was folding his clothes and shit, they don't look mentally like stable. They do look like they're kind of nuts. The other two look a little bit more normal, but I didn't see like they don't like neither of these motherfuckers gives me a good vibe. Like I feel like they're kind of crazy. I feel like they're just not stable, which again would be understandable because the process to get these abilities is just absolutely horribly insane. So yeah, I can't wait for the next chapter and see if we get like I predict three things. Either John finally gets the abilities, because that's why they've been showing us Leon being kind of crazy, the process to getting these powers, and then the process of what happens to your mind, how you're broken with John, and how these guys are kind of crazy. So I hope that following the pattern, we will probably get John's reveal in the next chapter, or we'll probably find out what is the alien with horns, which I imagine that it's like the queen. I kind of have vibes that the author might go kind of like a beehive, bee colony type of biology for these aliens, which would be pretty interesting for them to have. Like a queen, which if they find out, if they discover that they have a queen, will they turn a woman into this type of alien hybrid and make her their queen? There are so many options to take this story. And given these first few chapters, I would not be surprised if the author does some batshit insane thing with like a potential human hybrid queen alien. It would be just fucking just goddamn. Don't do that, you know? So I don't know. I imagine either the alien with horns is a stronger breed of these aliens, or it's the alien queen, which again, if the author is following kind of like this beehive, bee colony type thing for these aliens, it would not really make sense, because this alien with horns does seem to be coming out of the hole. So it would make much more sense for that to be maybe a stronger breed, because I doubt that the queen would just go out of the hive and not produce more aliens, I guess. But I want to say that crater is fucking big. When I read the first chapter, it looked kind of small, but I never really saw, like I never really put it into perspective until I saw this chapter, and you can see the shade of like an alien, and I said, God damn, that is a big ass fucking hole. It is huge. It is a big fucking hole. So yeah, I really hope that this manga can continue going, because bro, 9 chapters in and I am hooked. It is so far a very well-paced, well-written story. It gives me a lot of Attack on Titan vibes, where like each time a chapter passes by, I get some questions answered, but I get more questions asked. But I like that there are times when the author gives us like a space to breathe, because we had 2 chapters of John kind of the reveal to John of what is happening, and then like I think it was 2 chapters or 1 of John going through that process of turning into like an alien hybrid. So like again, it was almost 6 chapters, almost 6-7 chapters of pure questions. We get them answered slowly, and then we get like a 1 chapter rest, and then we continue with like questions. Very good pacing, very good manga so far. I like it. Give me your opinions, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.